All right, so Google's just dropped something that's, well, it's not just another tool. This is a pretty big deal. We're talking about a fundamental shift in how we actually build software. It's called Jules 2.0, and it's all about moving from AI that just assists you to AI that actually collaborates with you. So let's dive in and figure out what that really means.
So I want you to think about this for a second. What if your next teammate, the one picking up tickets from the backlog, writing code, and even submitting pull requests, what if that teammate wasn't human at all? I know it sounds like sci-fi, but that's exactly the future Google is building right now with Jules. Okay, so what is Jules really? At its heart, it's an autonomous AI agent. And the two words you really got to latch onto there are autonomous and collaborates. This isn't just a helper, right? It's not just a fancy autocomplete. It's designed to take on complex tasks all by itself, from start to finish, and plug right into your workflow, just like any other developer on your team would. So, to really wrap our heads around Jules, we have to appreciate just how big of a leap this is. Seriously, we're moving way beyond AI that just gives you a little code snippet here and there. We're talking about an agent you can hand off entire tasks to. Look, most of us use code assistants like Copilot every day, right? And they're great. They're awesome for suggesting the next line of code. But here's the key. You're still the one in the driver's seat. You're guiding the tool. Jules, it's a completely different beast. It works on entire tasks, quietly, in the background. You don't guide it, you delegate to it. It's a huge difference. So, what can you actually delegate to it? Well, basically, a ton of the heavy lifting. All the stuff that's super important, but maybe not the most fun part of the job. We're talking about fixing those annoying bugs, writing all that boilerplate for unit tests, wrestling with dependency updates, which we all love, right? And even generating documentation. Heck, you can even ask it to build out whole new features from a set of requirements. But here's the part that really makes it feel like a teammate. Jules doesn't just generate a massive block of code and dump it on your desk and say, "Here you go!" No way. It actually plugs into your existing process. It'll create a new branch, write the code, make the changes, and then it opens a pull request for a human to review. It literally behaves just like another developer on your team. Okay, so let's get into the new stuff, version 2.0. The first version was already a really powerful idea, for sure. But these new upgrades, this is what makes it a genuine game changer, something that developers can start using today and see a real impact. And these version 2.0 upgrades are huge, I'm not kidding. First off, it's actually available for more people to use now. It's not some limited beta anymore. And it's running on a much, much smarter brain. We're talking Gemini 2.5 Pro. But the real magic is in how it works. It has this built-in critic that literally reviews its own code. It's got workflow smarts, so it remembers your project setup. And get this, it's now multimodal, which is a fancy way of saying it can look at images and understand things for UI tasks. It's just a massive jump forward in both smarts and how easy it is to use.
Okay, we have to talk more about that built-in critic feature, because this might be the most important part of the whole thing. Why? Because it's all about building trust. Think about it. Before Jules even dares to show you its code, it runs a review on itself. It's looking for bugs, bad patterns, edge cases, the whole shebang. And if it finds something wrong, it literally tells itself, "Nope, that's not good enough. Try again." It is self-correcting. That's incredible.
And what's the engine making all of this possible? It's Gemini 2.5 Pro. This is Google's top-of-the-line AI model for advanced reasoning, and that's not just marketing speak. It directly translates into better planning, much cleaner code, and, crucially, the ability to tackle complex, multi-step problems all on its own, without you having to hold its hand. So when you put all these pieces together, you start to see why this is such a big deal. It really signals a fundamental change in how we as developers are going to interact with AI. We are absolutely moving away from the idea of a simple assistant that helps you type faster and towards a genuine partner that takes on its own chunk of the workload. I mean, just think about how most of us work right now. Let's be honest. So much of our time gets eaten up by these manual, repetitive tasks, right? Chasing down that one weird bug, writing endless boilerplate for tests, and, oh yeah, carefully updating package versions one by one, hoping nothing breaks. It's a grind. Well, the new way, the future that Jules is pointing towards, is one where we can finally offload all that grind. And what does that do? It frees up our time, sure, but more importantly, it frees up our mental energy to focus on the stuff that humans are actually great at, thinking about high-level architecture, designing complex systems, and that creative, out-of-the-box problem-solving that AI just can't do. Just picture this for a second.
Imagine a workflow where you're busy whiteboarding a new system, and while you're doing that, Jules is in the background, just cranking out all the boilerplate tests for you. Or maybe it's finally handling that big package upgrade you've been dreading for weeks. Better yet, imagine it finds a bug in production, figures out what's causing it, and submits a pull request with the fix, all before you've even had your morning coffee and knew there was a problem. That's the promise we're talking about.
Okay, this all sounds pretty amazing, right? But the big question is, how can you actually get your hands on it and start trying it out? So let's take a quick look at the access and the different pricing tiers. And the good news is, they've actually made it pretty accessible. There's a free tier, which is awesome. It has some limits, of course, but it's perfect for students or hobbyists who just want to kick the tires and see what it can do. Then you've got an AI Pro tier, which is aimed at everyday developers like you and me. And finally, there's an AI Ultra tier for big teams and enterprises that need all the power they can get. The main point here is that this isn't some super expensive enterprise-only thing. It's for everyone.
And all of this brings us to the big million-dollar question, doesn't it? When you have a tool this powerful, does it mean the end of the road for human developers? Or is this the ultimate tool to just make us better? You know, to make us faster, more efficient, and finally free us up to focus on the really creative, hard problems. I don't think anyone has the answer just yet, but that's the big question we're all going to have to grapple with as this technology keeps getting better.